Hello, it's that time of year again, and we're gonna show you how to do a proper AC service check. I'm gonna go over a few tools you're gonna need. Of course, you're gonna need a set of good gauges. You want to have them hooked up. You're gonna want a good leak detector, a temperature gun. Some of the more advanced things you might need is, if you got a hard to find leak, is a dye kit. You're also going to want an evacuation machine. You got two options. Obviously, you couldn't throw this one in the back of your truck, but you got a buildable option that you can do for a mobile service. A simple recovery tank and a vacuum pump that can recover. You can also use a portable scale to keep track about how much Freon you're using. You also want to have a good test light or multi-electrical test kit to test for any kind of power issues, because AC can be very advanced. Alright, so let's get started here. So I got these gauges hooked up, and the first thing that I noticed, it's definitely low on Freon. So this is most likely going to be an issue where the Freon got too low. AC compressor can't come on because the low side pressure switch isn't recognizing enough pressure in there. It will not allow it to even come on. So we're going to go ahead and start this car up and introduce some Freon. All right. Alright, so I got the car started up. AC's turned on full blast. I'm simply going to open up my can. I'll make sure all my fittings are nice and tight. This is a new set of gauges for the season. You want to let the Freon go in through the low side. You want to, I don't know if you heard that, but the AC compressor just came on. You don't want to just crank it in there. You want to gradually let it go in there. Put little pumps in there. Today is a little cooler, so if you're going by gauge pressure, on a cooler day, around 180, 200, down to 30. We're going to do a little something different on this one afterwards, but on a hot day, you know, I would say between 225, 250 max, and ideally around 30 to 40 on the low side. So we're going to keep introducing a little more at a time. We're going to crank this one up to pressure. We're going to let it run for a little while, then we're going to cut it off. Then we're going to use our fancy little leak detector to find out where our leak is at, or do we even have a leak? You really never know. Someone could have opened the system up for some oddball reason and just never did a proper AC service on it. That's the whole purpose. You got to do it step by step. Been around Freon long enough, it has a distinct smell, so if you're adding it to it and you're smelling a really strong Freon smell, just go ahead and stop at that point, or sometimes you might even see it. You don't want to let it go off into the atmosphere or waste your Freon. Stuff's expensive. You might hear this in a lot of my videos, but you got 5 senses, you got to use them all. Sometimes when you're reaching for a bolt, you can't see it, but you got to feel for it. And then you can visually see something, or you can feel it. It's feeling real hot. There's a video where I found a short just because I touched the light and it was super hot, so I grabbed my temperature gun. One of the headlights for the mirror was dang near 350 degrees. The other one was only 140. So we're almost where we want to be at. Another thing too, you got to realize that there's oil that is in the system. Sometimes it settles in the wrong spot, so you want to run it for a little while, let the oil get down to the compressor, and the pressures end up being the way they're supposed to be. The advantage to using, while this is doing this, I'll show you something. The advantage to using a machine like this when you're doing the AC service is you can digitally punch in the exact amount of Freon that is listed on the tag, which is great, especially if you're a beginner. So this one would take, the amount of Freon would be a little less than a pound right here, or if you did it in kilograms, it would be like 0.45 kilograms. I don't know if you can see that. Almost every car has this. If you can't find this on your car, you can simply go to the website and look it up. There's plenty of charts on there. One of the charts that I use pretty frequently is from 4 Seasons. That's actually the brand AC compressor I like to use the most because it's the most reliable. It's a product that AutoZone stocks. Alright, so on a cool day like today, this car is sitting at about 38 and almost 150 on the high side. 38 on the low side, almost 150 on the high side. So I'm comfortable with that. It's been running for a minute. I'm going to cut it off and we're going to check the leaks. Alright, if you just introduce Freon into the system, you want to take the hoses and the Freon and move it pretty far away. You don't want to be detecting your own Freon. You want to give the valves a chance to dissipate. Okay, this is a heated gas tester. So if you want to turn it on, as you can see, you gotta let it warm up. It takes about 30 seconds. You can get one like this for less than a couple $100. This has probably been one of the better ones I've used. They also got $20 ones on there. But I'm gonna tell you, those things is hit and miss. You might get one that works and another one that don't. You want to be aware of the car when you're using this. You want to smell up in a car. A lot of women like to wear heavy perfume, so If the car has too much perfume, sometimes we'll get a false reading from the perfume. You got to remember that. So you want to start. It has a low, medium, high. You want to start on the high sensitivity. I usually step away from the car. You want to get a general area. Most common area for a leak could be the fittings themselves. So you always want to check those first. And the next area you're going to want to check is down by the AC compressor. I'm gonna tell you right now, do not buy any of the stop leak that they sell at any of the part stores. There's one that I know that actually works pretty decently. It's made by Blue Devil. They call it Red Angel. Whenever I get it, I order it from Amazon. It don't work good on every leak, but there's been some times where the people didn't have the money, and I recommend them to try that. You might have a single mom with a bunch of kids, and they don't have that $1,000 to put all that work into it. They can just simply try that, but you want to articulate it to them. There's a chance it won't work. Sometimes you also want to articulate them, because sometimes it may be working because it seals as it leaks out. You might have to top the Freon off again one more time if they use that. But as a technician, you don't want to be recommending stuff like that all the time. It can give you a bad reputation. So use your discretion on it. The reason why you always want to check this condenser really good is because you got bugs and rocks and all kinds of things that can hit them fins on there and put little holes on them. So far I'm not getting any detection anywhere. Alright, you want to follow these lines to the back. This is your thermal expansion valve back here. Sometimes you get a leak back here. You want to check hoses. You got to pay close attention to the shaft on the compressor because they like to leak there. There's also no such thing as a perfectly sealed system, even on a new car. I mean, you might get that one that is sealed, but generally, almost every AC I've ever seen seeps out over time. Pretty long period of time, but so with this being a 2017, it's about 8 years if someone's never topped it off. And it looks like those caps never been off because the seal stuck when I took it off. I always tell people to cycle their AC a couple times during the wintertime, keep the O-rings lubricated. We want to check these valves one more time. I'll put it straight on them. Alright, the worst possibility would be evaporator core, so let's hope it's not that. You want to get up to the vents. That's the one I hate telling people. When you're done doing your diagnostic, you want to ask the customer specific questions, especially if you don't find a leak. You want to ask them, when's the last time you had Freon put in this thing? You don't just want to go in there, shoot some Freon in it, say, oh, you're good. And then a week later, she calls you back. You want to let her know. I really expected to see a leak since it was so low, so I'm gonna triple check it, make sure I'm not missing something. Like that. Okay, so we're wrapping up this AC job. I'm super surprised I did not find a leak. The customer's going to be getting a major tune-up done on this vehicle here soon, so we're going to do a recheck. It's still kind of cool out here in Virginia. It says it's 81 degrees today, but it kind of feels a little chillier than that. What I'm thinking, I've seen this before, this car's never been serviced. Here's what the average O-ring looks like. Sometimes they get dry and they'll just seep out over time and then seal back up. I noticed when I took the high side cap off that the original seal stuck on it like it's never been off before, and this thing being approximately 8 years old, it probably just never had Freon put in it. It seeped out over time. But she's cool with it, I'm cool with it. She understands that there's a possibility that we might have to recheck it, but I'm definitely going to give it a thumbs up. It's blowing cold air. This is my first AC service for the season, so I'm super stoked. If you keep an eye on my videos, you'll start seeing AC compressor replacements, condenser replacements. There'll be all kinds of cool stuff. Thank you, and I appreciate all my subscribers. If you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section, and you all have a blessed day.